Are Kroxigors any good in patch 5.1? Today we're covering basic Kroxigors, not the sacred ones Nakai loves so much, and had bugged recruitment for since the time of the old ones, that is, until very recently. Somewhere along the line, Kroxigors became recruitable at tier 3 of the Skinks building, no longer bringing salamander hunting packs, but we get Kroxigors out of it, and they're very interesting. But are they good? Let's open the jaw and take a good look inside. Recruit for 1000 gold and 250 upkeep. On ultra size, this gets you 16 entities with 8,160 health between them for 510 health per entity. So, not Minotaur level, but not all that bad. Armor is 100, no shields. 15% inherent missile resistance. Leadership is 70, which is solid, but not top tier. Still a lot better than the Skinks alone. Speed is 46, thanks to the long strides, far outpacing Saurus infantry, but precisely keeping up with Skink infantry. Charge speed is 78. Melee attack begins at 30, and I feel like I've seen it even lower. Maybe they buffed this somewhere along the line. Attack interval is 3.8, close enough to standard to not care. Splash target size is medium, so basic cavalry on down, and the max targets damaged in any given splash is 4. I want to note that the Sacred Kroxigor has max targets damaged of 3. 4 is also better than ogre units at 16 entities like Iron Guts and Man-Eaters. Melee defense starts at 32, and given that this is monstrous infantry, 32 isn't bad. Weapon strength is given as an even 100, split between base 30 and armor piercing 70, which means they outpace something like Rat Ogres, although those also have Frenzy. Kroxigors have a bonus versus infantry of 15. They have charge bonus 22, which is pretty restrained, and mass 1400. Kroxigors are siege attackers, can hide in forest all the same, cause fear, and have the predatory fighter buff if enemies are fleeing nearby, and primal instincts to fight harder if below 50% hit points. And, fresh to recent patches, the Spawnkin buff. Having nearby skink units, and they do not need to be melee infantry, grants Kroxigors a 10% bonus to both types of melee damage, so weapon strength 110 in effect, and shares causes fear with the Skinks, which is a tabletop rule. So, to reiterate, Kroxigors start with 30 melee attack, get plus 15 bonus versus infantry, and besides that boost to weapon strength when against infantry, it's another plus 10% weapon strength when Skinks are nearby. And Skinks are easy to recruit. I mean, after all, you get them from the same building. Also, splash damage, medium size and below, 4 targets damaged max. This is a very solid set of stats, although obviously it's a little bit better against infantry than, let's say, chariots, but chariots can't run over the Kroxigors, and Kroxigors are still armor-piercing, so connecting will hurt. In the Redline skills, Sacred Guardian has a max of plus 6 melee attack and plus 6 melee defense. These are amazing boosts, but the other units affected are Sacred Kroxigor and Temple Guard, so if you're not Nakai, are you taking this? That depends. The thing is, at rank 7 and above, Spawnkin is what grants plus 5 leadership, plus 5 melee defense, and 15% more missile resistance. All amazing at increasing the tenacity of the unit, but this is the general Skink unit buff. In the tech tree, Sequence of Guardian spawning grants plus 2 recruit rank, but for actual combat, Sequence of the Kroxigors grants plus 10% weapon strength and plus 10 flat charge bonus, and Sequence of Hardened Scales adds plus 10 armor, which is still a big deal against a lot of enemies even late game. So how do we use Kroxigors? Well, not being the tabletop, we're emulating some of its ideas but not bound to them. On their own, Kroxigors are certainly formidable, and they're fast enough they can do troll-style flank attacks without troll-style low leadership, but it's still not that high. The iconic use is to have them wade into your infantry forces and start chopping enemy units like little trees, or big trees as the case may be. That's where the 1400 mass lets them move around friendly lines with great ease. Working hand in hand with your basic infantry, Kroxigors bring the damage, and your infantry dilute the damage coming back your way. Enemy splash damage will hit multiple targets. Possibly. And enemy non-splash damage may target the Saurus to the left, not the Kroxigor to the right. Adding more options means more things can roll your way, kind of a Murphy's Law in reverse. The very fact Kroxigors are basically meant to work with your infantry means that they're dropped by a lot of people because they don't have infantry. or at least not melee infantry. That can work if you have enough high-level tools. If you don't, Kroxigors are an extremely sturdy, reasonably priced, hard-hitting bruiser unit. And well, as I pointed out, against infantry they have substantial bonuses to hit that Saurus warriors lack. Both Kroxigors and Saurus warriors hitting targets can work. Both hitting targets together is just flat out amazing. And what did I say the biggest problems with Saurus warriors were? Time to kill. Splash damage, armor piercing, and bonuses against the exact kind of anti-large infantry Saurus warriors are trying to tie down and kill mean Kroxigors can help with those tasks, and better them than the Ferocarnosaurs you want to devote to dragon hunting. It's like you're building a really old-fashioned stone wall. There are big rocks, there are little rocks, and then there is the mortar that holds them together. Kroxigors are the bridge between disparate parts of your normal quote-unquote army forces, making them stronger than each individual piece. Also, to put it bluntly, a skink cohort is incomparably weak compared to a skink cohort with a unit of Kroxigors playing Big Brute Brother. Just don't ask them to help with your trigonometry homework. Take care, and have fun getting Kroxigor Senpai to beat up your enemies while you scurry around helping!